I don't think it's unreasonable to still go Blink Yules. I know it might sound surprising, but
I mean, Haunt is such a long cooldown, so it's not like it's
yeah, you
hard
can still
countering
play. You can still play
so.
around it, and it's also about the timing in the game, right? Like if Shadowfiend goes Blink Yules, he gets it really fast. If you compare that to Enigma having Blink BKB or Axe having Blink Blade Mail, there's like Shadowfiend has a more natural and faster way of acquiring the key item.
5 seconds.
And then it's also like, what does their lineup want? You can't build your entire strategy around let's not do what they want to do. You also need to play your own timings. And if Shadowfiend goes a right-click build, who's doing stuff in this game right now for Alliance? If Shadowfiend is not, like Enigma will be greedy. You have a Wyvern 4. It's an Enigma 5, by the way. It will be laning against Beastmaster probably. Axe offlane. Like, there's so much dependence on items here from Alliance. Again, similar to last game, they just it's slow.
That is so greedy.
And I'm worried, actually. I'm just worried that they won't get a foothold on the map. If they do, and they stabilize, the lineup can be obviously amazing later on. But I just see Viking having so high pace. Rubik Grim supports, they get levels. You give Inkswell to Ember, he's a boss. Beastmaster is, as is well established in this patch, just kind of a god in the early mid portions of the game. And Spectre can join globally. So for Viking, the idea is probably just let's play our lanes, and then as soon as we feel online, let's go do shit. Like run at Alliance at all spaces of the map. Don't let them farm. And we don't think they can fight back. At least that would be my read on the game for them.
So even though I know FNG plays the 5, is there no way that he's just playing the 4 this game because it is Enigma? Like, how do you play Enigma position 5? Sounds awful.
You deny creeps in the lane and you try to get an aura item. You will not get Blink BKB, obviously, like that. Maybe you get something like a Crimson or Vlad's or a Pipe or Mech, whatever you feel like you can afford for your team. You could get Necrobook as well as a 5. It's still an impactful item.
Okay.
But yeah, I think 5 Enigma is actually genuinely very good in some games. I just think the framework for it here is too greedy for my taste. I would have liked a different 4. Like then I think your 4 should be Earth Spirit or something then, right? Like somebody that
of course.
does stuff. But we'll see.
My question is why choose Enigma 5 when you have a Wyvern that could also play the 5 and is more common than Enigma?
I think it's maybe player preference. This is one of Alliance, or handsken actually loves both heroes, so maybe it's FNG who wants to play Enigma, or maybe it's just you know, from a laning perspective, we want FNG to lane with Nico or whatever it is. Could just be comfort. Lots of possibilities, but.
So you like Vikings lineup more?
I do. I definitely do. I like the lineup more, and I like their chances more as well.
Okay.
In this game.
Now, in terms, usually don't talk about itemization this early, but I haven't been keeping up, as you know, with the Spectre builds these days. Is it any different variation? Like, I know they went Necro 1 for a while. I don't think that's a thing anymore because of the mana cost changes, right? So is it a Radiance? Is it a Diffusal? Is it the Manta after? Is it still basically the same?
The most common builds is getting a couple of stat items like 2 Wraith Bands and then Treads.
Oh yeah, after that.
Phase. And then you get either either Manta or Radiance. Usually one of those two. You can get the Manta first because it is a high impact item on Spectre. You obviously get illusions with Desolate. It's very powerful. I think in this game, Radiance looks insanely good. It's even more Blink Dagger cancellation. It's evasion against Ursa and Shadowfiend. And it's just the late game secured as well, right? Like, look at their team, how much AoE damage they're going to have with the Radiant Spectre and Ember.
I don't know how you deal with Spectre late game if you go the Radiance to start. Very, very difficult. Well, top lane, we're already going to see the spam coming out of both Shad and Seleri, but the counter spam now from S4 and handsken. So this is going to be a lot of harassment for sure on each respective side. Of course, Seleri has the lowest cooldown with Stroke of Fate. Constantly up, it feels like. And mid lane, didn't really talk about this yet, but SF versus Ember Spirit.
Great Shadowfiend.
How does this usually go?
Great Shadowfiend lane. That's the reason they last picked it. They saw no hero that Viking can put mid will beat Shadowfiend. He's favored in all of the matchups. Ember it's actually a kind of, I don't know if we can call it classic at this point because it's probably like a year or two old, but this is a counter pick to Ember that has been used a lot. Just you have overwhelming magic damage, so you break Flame Guard, and if he comes up close and your raises can't hit, you still pack a punch, so you can kind of fight him back most of the time. Right. Later on in the game, it's not that black and white. Like Shadowfiend doesn't necessarily have the best options for, say, catching the Ember Doesn't deal too well with getting constantly poked in fights from range. So it's a lane counter mainly, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, he's already... I mean, the CS is pretty even at this... I mean, a little bit favoring Limp, of course, but I'm sure it's just going to amplify as the levels come for him, as well as the souls and whatnot. Seleri top lane. Battle Hunger is applied. He has 8 HP, and he lives. That's about as close as it gets right there.
That's a good tango.
Yeah, very value tango. He's going to walk all the way back to base, though, it looks like.
It's great from Alliance, though, that they put pressure here. I think it's really, really crucial in this game that their laning stage leads to an advantage, because it needs to compensate for the time they have to wait later on while their things build up. So if they at least
mid lane, Limp taking a lot of damage, but now that he's close to the tower, he can dish it out himself as well. A couple raises and boom, is already low HP. Bottom lane, we'll talk about this lane very briefly as well. Rubik Beastmaster versus Enigma Ursa. So like you talked about, Enigma can just take over that boar anytime. Top lane Shad taking a ton of damage. Battle Hunger just ended. Looks like he will live. But what do you think of the bot lane setup right now as a 2v2?
Obviously, Alliance are going to have a bit of an advantage in the start on experience, just from conversion. But once Beastmaster hits level 3 and Rubik hits level 3, I think it can fight back a lot more. But Alliance have built themselves a good advantage here to start. Fade Bolt, obviously amazing against Enigma. It cuts the Eidolon damage in half. Look at them. 20 minus 10. Look at how they look like Bounty Hunter, all of them as well, by the way. Very nice.
I know. I was actually so surprised when I got in the game, I'm not going to lie. Like, they literally took the Bounty Hunter model, essentially. Very unique. Very good.
Oh, Tobi. Damn, they're so strong still with this lane just because the Eidolons are not a factor. Now Rubik cuts their damage by 13. So 20 minus 13 damage on the Eidolons. They hit for 7.
Hey,
it is
7
nothing.
damage. Yeah. Definitely the tickling going on right there. Shad in the top lane with 11 CS right now.
Yeah. It's not only him, it's also S4. Like, this game, it looks like S4 is being enabled. I think in his last game on Queen of Pain, he had some pretty tough conditions. But this time, they've made sure that he gets to shine. So all of Alliance's heroes this time around getting very good farm. And that's a good look for the future of the game, obviously. Shad, like you pointed out, doesn't have the highest CS, but there was also 6 creeps waiting for him, and he pulled into a big camp. So he's going to end up on like 25 here.
Oh, the courier! Down it goes. That was actually the chainmail for S4 as he's working towards his phase boots right now. So he's going to have to wait another minute or so.
Could stick TP.
He is being chased.
Bought as much time as possible before doing it. Very nice, actually.
Very smart.
I thought he was going to do it earlier, but he was like, how much space can I buy my Spectre here? Alliance kept running after him for a good, like, 15 seconds there. That was very good for Shad to just get that free space.
Starting to come back for the CS. But like you said, S4 is just getting, like, every creep right now, as he was cutting a little bit earlier as well. Delayed on the phase was just a tad, but not by that much, considering he didn't have enough quite yet for the Radiant's Blades of Attack. Aramis bot lane. He's going to get 2 courier kills. Happened to the Radiant's courier. Man alive. We've been... I feel like the games that we watch, there's just so many more courier kills than usual. And there's no puppy in this game either. Very strange. Not every day you see the Rubik just waddle on over and get 2 creeps. Feels like everybody's just so focused on last hit, they don't even look at the mini-map for the couriers.
I mean, it's also not very common that you look at the last hits, right? 38, 31, 30 to 26, 21, 21. Viking still has the gold lead. Like,
yeah, that is true.
Alliance have actually got so good farm in the lanes, but the couple of courier kills and maybe the extra region they've had to buy whatever it is, Viking are basically matching them here. And this is an Alliance draft that wants to lane win, right? F&G, okay, they do get the first blood here. Nikobaby is low, but he is safe.
Yeah, so Rubik ends up taking a tumble there. Mid lane, we're seeing more back and forth. A lot of damage was done to this tier 1 in favor of Alliance, as an invis rune is on Limp. Not sure if he actually wants to go anywhere with this, though. He probably will just continue to farm the lane, push it out, go into the jungle, or just take out that tower eventually. Seleri. Looks like he's going to get called here from S4, who now has his phase boost, so he is quite strong. So it is 2v1 right now. We'll continue the pressure. I don't think he can get this kill. He's going to take some damage as a result, but the Stroke of Fate is juked that time around. Limp, oh, actually he does pop the invis and immediately TP's bottom. So see if they can set something up here.
But they're not expecting this move for sure.
Yeah. Obviously doesn't have a Reckoning of Souls yet, but
so much for the
does have level 4 raise.
They actually realized, wait, where did Shadowfiend go? He's not mid and we know he has an invis. He was too... It wasn't...
Yeah.
How to say... Nico wasn't high enough health that he could go in immediately, so they had to kind of wait. Shad top. They're trying to trade for Seleri. They will do it here. 1 for 1.
S4 now. 1v1 versus Shad.
One more spin would do
not
it.
interested in
oh,
this.
He's not 6. Never mind. If he would have spun from that 1 range creep, he would have got level 6 and got him under the kill threshold. That would have been really sexy, but didn't happen.
Very sexy. S4 is going to continue to just pull these waves, combine it with some neutrals. Good old Ko the Bold right here, taking a lot of damage. Some are stolen here from Seleri as the trusty shovel comes into his inventory. Always a handy one.
It's like, oh, convenient.
Oh, very nice. Mid lane, we're going to see the 1v1 battle of the ages. No, Remnant away.
Wow, that was truly epic. Thanks for that.
A 1v1 battle for the ages. As S4 continuing to be a nuisance here. But this allows Shad to, I mean, now that you have 2 Wraith Bands with Quelling Blade, you should be able to last it pretty easily under the tower. But S4 just continuing to get a ton of farm. Actually, top of the net worth of the entire game right now. So,
the rune of haste.
See if he can get that fast blink next. As he looks to be chased here, boom, with that haste rune right now. Searing Chains is online. Looks like they might go for handsken instead. The Ink Swell will set things up, but nice Cold Embrace. Keeping him safe for now. They're under the tower, of course. S4 is going to call. Boom, with that Remnant ends up helping taking out the Wyvern in the end. So
not too
good rotation, but
bad
ends up getting Limp with a tower mid here, Synderen.
Yeah, exactly. He trades for the tower, and they only found a support. I think they were really looking for the X kill there, but yeah, not the dream outcome exactly for Viking there. And minute 9 mid tower is very, very good. So I think Limp should be happy about this. Let's see his itemization plans. Since he went treads first, I don't think it's going to be the Yule's buildup. It is still possible, but he might go a different route. I think a lot of the time we see Yules, we see it with brown boots, and you just really get that Yule super fast. This might be a combat build like you predicted. Maybe Silver Edge against Spectre.
Oh, yeah, that could be interesting.
It's a possibility. Don't know. It's not a very popular build anymore.
What are your thoughts on Nikobaby building towards a Drum of Endurance right now on the Ursa? Wants to get involved early, I suppose?
Yeah, I think, again, it's like Alliance are identifying that they might need to itemize a bit for staying afloat at that mid-game timing, and then he'll probably buy Battle Fury after this Drum, I think. But it's just some sort of value where they can group up with their heroes and take a fair fight where they feel like they have a good shot, and then obviously scale very well later on with both their supports.
S4 going for the bounty rune. Looks like this is going to be the first team fight of the game, potentially. Boom. A lot of damage being done, and S4 is going to be the first casualty. Boom. Attempting to get up. These right clicks from Shadowfiend are crazy strong, but he's going to be silenced. Lifted as the Requiem was about to go off, and they're going to find the kill as well. So Viking with a 2 for nothing. Well executed bounty fight.
Great rotation on the Rubik. Really was the difference maker there. Yeah. Very nice. And in the meantime, they're not even suffering much of a loss here because guess what Beastmaster can also do that we didn't talk about? He can also farm Ancients, by the way, when he has Necro 1. So even though he doesn't like laning against Ursa, he doesn't really need to care. He has a great plan B that is basically as good as plan A. So just plans all over. And he seems to be just wanting to maybe try to take some farm away from Ursa here in the jungle. And Nico will just yield, run away, and get settled for the small camp, whereas Tobi will bully his way to a big camp, basically.
Yep, looks like Shad is targeting towards getting that Radiance right now as they're going to apply some pressure to S4. TP support with FNG is here. Gets the Malice off into the black hole onto one, but the Ink Swell is enough to cancel it. Very quick succession, and it was actually the black hole stolen. As we talked about that pregame, very easy to do so. S4 getting chased with the first haunt of the game from Shad. Another, still needs a couple right clicks, I think. The tower's going to help out with the dispersion.
I actually thought he might have chosen to dive that. He could have sticked int treads and then had a dagger in 3 seconds.
Oh, he might go back in. Dagger is online.
No.
That's a level 4 dagger. He's going for it. He's going to get called, but there's TP support for Alliance coming in now. Looks like Ember Spear is going to help finish him off a little bit too late on the ult from handsken, but they might be able to get Shad either way. Inkswell is going to be on 2 heroes. This is a tier 2 dive at minute 12, and they're going to find 3 heroes, and no one will die on their side. Oh my goodness.
Disaster for Alliance. Man. Oof. They're not bringing the hero that needs to be there, right? It's the Shadowfiend and the Ursa that can take this fight, but Ursa had TP cooldown, and Shadowfiend had TP cooldown. So they brought the ones that they could, but it's just not the right heroes. Like, the Enigma Wyvern duo don't take fights like this very well, especially when they have Black Hole on cooldown, right? It looked like a great Black Hole immediately. He cast it super fast on the Ember, which was very impressive, but obviously didn't account for the Rubik spell steal and didn't account for the fact that Ember was Inkswelled. I don't think they actually even saw that going in. So yeah, just solid stuff.
I don't think I even saw that. I saw it when it went off.
I didn't see it either. I don't think I had the audio cue, but I heard the audio cue when it exploded.
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff
way,
for Viking.
Huge fight for Viking. That was about a 2,000 net worth swing, I want to say. They were about 1K behind, which obviously, as you're working towards this Radiance, that's when Spectre truly comes online, even though he's still useful in these fights, unlike an AM, as you were talking about.
It's kind of like, think back a year, and now I tell you that Spectre is having a huge impact, minute 13, being part of tons of kills, and Ursa is standing in lane hitting creeps. Like, it's how the tables have turned.
Now, was his... Do you know if his TP was on cooldown for Ursa or something?
It was there. It was, yeah. But, like, obviously I'm painting it very black and white. Like, Spectre has always been able to join fights, but it's really... I think the pro players have just got a lot better at utilizing that small advantage to turn it into something big.
Looks like handsken is going to be the sacrificial lamb here for Alliance.
And the gold doesn't look that bad, right? Like, the gold doesn't look too bad. They're only less than 1K behind. But it's just, like, this is when the hard part of the game begins, in my opinion. Viking have the threat on you of getting Radiance. Their Beastmaster is getting Necro 3 in 1 minute. And the Ember is online, and they have levels on Grim to make Ember strong. He has 4 levels in Ink Swell.
I do like this. They are going to get roached.
That's good. Yeah, that's very good.
They definitely needed it. So Aegis now on Nikobaby. They can get ultra aggressive if they want. Blink Dagger is almost there for S4, so they might just wait for that. Or not. I mean, when Grimstroke presents himself, I guess you take it.
Yeah, not really. I think Seleri was kind of uncertain what he wanted to do there and ends up actually losing a dominating streak to SF. So Limp kind of munched that up. Went for the Yasha, by the way. I'm not sure if you mentioned that.
Nope.
So probably going to go for a Yasha BKB, maybe? BKB seems necessary against this dire lineup. You need to be
Nikobaby going Blink Dagger. We talked about how every hero would get a Blink Dagger, but him potentially. But it looks like he's actually going for that instead of the Battle Fury, which you suggested.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much I like it. I feel like it's high risk, right, on this hero. Alternatively, you can build a Bastion and start working toward Abyssal, and then you get that little blink as well. It's obviously way more expensive. So again, maybe this is just underlining Alliance's game plan of we need to take initiative and be able to match because it's going to get too hard if we're not on level fighting ground.
That should help.
So maybe that's the idea. Like I'm just trying to read their mentality out of this because this is a very unusual Ursa build lately, I would say. Most people go for the more farming heavy build-up with Battle Fury and stats, Sanjin Yasha, Satanic. They're looking for something, but the princess isn't in this castle, or maybe the princess is going to walk into it.
Oh, Shad, he does have the relic, so this would not be the worst death, honestly. They're going to blink in.
Do they even
the
kill
call?
him?
It's going to be close. Calling Blade. Oh! He jaunts to another illusion.
He got cursed mid.
And he gets cursed mid. FNG is on the way as well, and yeah, he's super dead. But again, he just bought his relic, so that's actually maybe the best time to die if you're going to die.
It was definitely better than dying 1 minute ago. I agree.
Dyer's mid tower.
S4, going to show himself. Yeah, that's...
He's dead.
Okay.
That's a Necro 3, several boars, lots of units, including...
He didn't have any vision in the area, but he went well ahead of his team to purchase some info there. Are they going to use it correctly, though? Nico.
Yeah, Nikobaby, Telekinesis. They know that Winter's Curse is on cooldown right now. And
Oh no, the
Nikobaby
black
has
hole got
absolutely
canceled by
mana.
silence.
Did he
this
steal
is
it as
bad.
well? We'll see. Inkswell now onto FNG. That's going to be an easy cleanup for Viking as the Aegis is gone, it sounds like, as Nikobaby continues to get his mana drained. Has to pop his ult. The Yules will come through now. Was that the black hole?
Yeah, he
stopped
stopped his
into nothing.
stolen black hole.
Okay. Nikobaby getting saved for now, but Seleri just blows him up. So right now, just even though they're only up 1k, it just feels like they're getting better trades in every single fight, other than that Spectre dying.
Remember, this was a fight into 4 of Alliance's heroes with Aegis and a Spectre that couldn't connect at all. So Alliance technically had more heroes involved. And the main thing that set it off was S4's death beforehand. Right? It was like, okay, X is dead. Let's go. Run them down. We're mega strong right now. And they made it look easy.
Handsken. Looks like Boom wants to potentially go for this. Going to be working on his death zone now that he has his Yule Scepter finished.
Right, covers all his mana
FNG
problems.
in the meantime.
Gives him a solution against Ursa. Gives him a solution against Axe, especially very nice for the call. And just more flexibility overall in the fights, where he can like jump behind them and stop key spells like Black Hole, or he can stop Requiem wind up. It's good. Oh, FNG? AFK in mid?
Yeah, he is literally just standing there. And I guess that cost him his life. So another kill going the way of Viking. And we are on Radiance watch for Shad. He is about 400 away from finishing that bad boy bottom lane. The roar into death. As Tobi is working towards a Greaves right now. Getting close to finishing the mech. Is there any specific item other than Radiance that you really just want to wait for? Or is it actually just Radiance? You just start fighting constantly? As long as
I think it's enough. As long as you have your cooldowns ready. You need to also remember the enemy team is relying on cooldowns too, right? Like, that's one of the downfalls of 5 Enigma, is if you don't find farm, then usually Enigma is a lot more about the other spells than Black Hole, but it feels like at this point Black Hole is really important for him in this game because he doesn't offer much else. You've got a little bit of Midnight Pulse and Malefice as always, but it's not the same as if you were a 4 Enigma who, yeah, I'm not going to Black Hole, but at the very least I contribute auras, or I have pushed towers early game to give us an advantage or whatnot.
I felt like they just picked him for the laning stage, and it was just countered by Fade Bolt, right?
Yeah, Fade Bolt was awesome for that.
Dire's top tower's getting beat down.
Well, you can see FNG here in the bot lane, and Ember's going to start off his normal combo with the Necro units coming very slowly. It's going to be a painful, slow death for FNG, and likely the tier 2 tower is next.
It's
Limp,
too
like
easy
you
right
said,
now for Viking. Like, Alliance can't really take much initiative on the map, it feels. They want to make their next move. They already drew the line into their own jungle. They were like, let's go up here next. I would imagine Seleri could smoke with Beastmaster and Ember here and basically go anywhere on the map, and they can bring in a Radiant Spectre to the play. This game is looking really good for them right now.
He's shown the fact that he does have Radiance, by the way.
Is it BKB on SF now? Or what's
he just purchased it.
There it is, okay. This needs to pay off.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's a top net worth in the entire game, so he needs to have an impact immediately. Or else this will just continue to snowball in Viking's direction. Tier 1 tower about half HP right now. Handsken does have Curse available to him. But it looks like no fight will start things. Oh, S4 actually does initiate onto Boom, or is it the other way around? Boom has his Yules available. Aramis is relatively close by. Does have the Aether Lens as well. And there's the Telekinesis. And he actually stole Arctic Burn, making things even more annoying. He has a call now. I'd love to see this. Please, show us everything you got, Aramis.
What's he going to call? Ursa jumps him and he gets all the armor. It's like, you can't kill me. I have 30 armor.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh. Maybe his auto spell is running out. I don't know what's left on Arctic.
Like, who has more impact right now? I feel like the Spectre is... I mean, the net worth is basically even between Spectre and Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend feels very reliant on getting his ult off in a good position to be as useful. Bottom lane, yeah, Haunt. Nikobaby is all alone. Nobody's even remotely close to him. And it did require a Roar and a Necro 3, but they will be mega happy with that.
It's not looking good for Alliance this game. It's really not. There's not much going their way. They haven't been able to take much initiative. The lanes, they went okay, but not well enough. And yeah, right now in terms of net worth, Spectre's net worth is just worth more than Shadow Fiend's for the most part. Like, think of it this way. Shadow Fiend's net worth is effective in is one type of fight and that type of fight alone. And that requires the entire team to be around and set it up. Spectre's net worth is effective for everything. It's effective for split pushing. It's effective for joining fights. It's effective for being tanky. You know, like, and he's everywhere at once when he has ulti ready. So yeah, it's just way more freedom. And then there's the whole scalability of the hero in essence, like just itself versus Shadow Fiend's scalability, right? Like,
Spectre he ain't slowing down anytime soon. That's for sure.
It just scales better.
He will be going Manta like he predicted. After that, it kind of opens up, I feel like. Anything on... I don't know if the game's going to go that long, but what would your next item after Manta be?
With how Shadow Fiend is itemizing,
like
maybe
Blade or
Butterfly,
something?
I think.
Okay.
He's playing against 2 cores that are going physical builds, right? So Butter has very high value. If not Butter, he could go for maybe... Abyssal is okay. I kind of like Butter more than Abyssal, though. So it would either
never
be...
even talked about Nikobaby's item build, by the way. He did not go Blink Dagger. It was the Deso.
He went Deso, but they haven't used it. Alliance seem a little bit unguided in the game because they're pressured
feels like
all
they
the
want
time.
Roche.
Yeah, it's the one thing that has worked for them so far in this game, so they gotta try to come back to that and see if they can get an Aegis cheese and maybe do something with it. Their first Aegis ended up wasted. It did nothing. So they have to try to get the secondary Roche and force a Shadow Fiend type fight around it. Ideally for them in the pit. But once again, imagine being in Alliance's position in the game right now. You're playing super positioning-based heroes like Axe, Wyvern, and Enigma against Haunt and Hawk. Difficult to know where you can... I feel like Smoke is your only friend right now.
Well, Viking's the one that smokes here. They know Roshan is up because of the Hawks, and I believe a courier was also scouting it for Alliance.
They saw the smoke.
That they do know
Their
as
Hawks
well.
saw it. This can end
so
really,
double
really
smoke.
badly for Alliance.
So who gets the initiation off? Tobi does have Roar, but he is super tanky. Necro 3 and Greaves. Looks like the lift onto Axe into the Grim ult. Shadow Fiend
double
almost
roar.
Gets off his first Requiem, but yeah, the double Roar comes in tow. And FNG already extremely low. Can't even get off his black hole at all right now. And it looks like he will just spill immediately. So the first casualty, there's the Winter's Curse. Ember Spirit taking a lot of damage. Limp finally able to get off a Requiem of Souls, but Boom will just shrug it off and walk away. Nikobaby extremely low right now. If he's going to continue to get chased, he's going to turn things onto Boom, but there's the Yule's counter again. A 4-for-1, make it a team wipe, and all they lose is Rubik, not even remotely close these fights.
Shit, and it happened. It happened. It almost. The Rubik almost survived Ursa because of stolen.
The call.
It actually
I didn't see
happened.
that.
Yeah. He just barely died because he got so much armor that he could tank Ursa for quite a while. But yeah, that's just the problem right there, right? It's the issue in a nutshell. If Viking know what's coming, it's relatively easy for them to position themselves properly. They can bait out their tanky Beast Smasher, like you said. He gets immediately glimmered by Seleri, so he won't die. And then the Haunt comes in, and the whole fight just breaks up. Like, Alliance... Enigma can't play this game right now. Like, what's he supposed to do? He gets haunted, Spectre jumps on him. He can either black hole a Spectre, and it won't matter, or he can die. Both options are terrible.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose. No doubt about it. 13k net worth lead for Viking, and I don't think this is slowing down anytime soon. Yeah, looking pretty good. I mean, the one thing that Alliance does have going for them is they have very good team fight when their ults are up. But of course, they always have to worry about this Rubik. Like, you can just... Like, FNG has been... Not him as a player. This hero has been utterly useless this game, Cinder. It just feels completely worthless.
Yeah, it felt like it was its laning stage, and that's kind of it. And obviously Alliance gave away Beastmaster willingly, so this was their response plan as a strategy overall. It has just not worked. There's not much to say. It's just not worked.
I mean, I can see it definitely working if there's no Rubik, right? That's a completely different story, which is why you always see the Enchantress counter to the Beastmaster. But Enigma taken out again. Not really worth that much at this point, but they'll take the kill. And Boom is the one with the cheese right now, by the way. He's actually going full minus armor, so Deso into AC. So both teams actually have a lot of minus armor. Both the Ursa with the Deso and, of course, Shadow Fiend's passive.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
Enigma up in 15 seconds, still has his black hole. I mean, I think at this stage it just has to be on the Rubik, and then you just can't get stunned or silenced by anybody else. It's very difficult to actually execute this. Because there's the initiation, Grimstroke double, Beastmaster roar again. Limp will actually get... I actually can't tell if that was the Death Requiem only.
He got it off.
He got it off. So that was a double Requiem, essentially.
Have fun trying to bust
not really doing that much other than mitigating a little bit of damage here. And this will likely be the GG push, but you never know. Wow, look at that lift range. Jesus, that's so insane. FNG blown up. Shad still has the Aegis, so not too worried about this. Buybacks for 2 heroes on Alliance now. Nikobaby is already expended in Rage. Might have to go back and heal as a result. And Shad will just finish off this tower at the very least. See if they end up continuing this or not. Winter's Curse onto Ember alone. Nobody was near him. Really good positioning from Viking. That's a wasted, big ulti wasted. And Enigma, that is a dieback. Didn't even get to use Black Hole. Things are just getting worse and worse for Alliances. They are crumbling in this game too. We were expecting 3 games, especially after that game 1, but this has been all Viking. For sure.
If you asked me before the series if it was a 2-0 who I thought would 2-0, I would have said Viking. They looked so good against Secret. It's no coincidence that they're looking good today as well. This team is playing sick Dota right now. And
they've been here so long. Grimm's ult is up again.
Double roar.
And a double roar again. Are you serious? I didn't even realize the cooldowns were that close.
Yes.
Yeah, they're just showing off right now. All right, I need to look at the cooldowns here. Let's see. So Soulbind is 75 seconds at level 2, and Beastmasters is level 3, so it's 70 seconds. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They have the Roche taking capabilities, even more minus armor now for Viking with that Orb of Destruction. But it's hard to fight into this Rubik. Rubik was such... How late was Rubik picked? Do you remember?
Second pick.
Okay, so it wasn't like a
first pick
super late
Beastmaster, then it was Enigma Wyvern, and then it was Rubik. There's the Haunt. This could be the last fight.
Yeah.
He has to Black
Might
Hole.
as well be Black Hole onto 1. He gets it off for a little bit, but the damage has already been done. It's a 2 for nothing. And a stolen Black Hole onto the Shadow Friend. And that is going to be 4 dead in favor of Viking as GG is finally called.
GG wrong.
Is that what he said?
Oh. Yeah, Spectre has a voice line that's wrong.
Wrong. Well, that was a mega stomp syndrome.
That was a trashing. I feel like, again, my conclusion on this series, Viking plays really good Dota